Hey team, welcome to the Builders Ladder podcast that the top residential building company owners and general contractors listen to get their business ahead and buy back their time while earning more money. Here's what's in store today.
What happens if we fire everybody tomorrow? Who would we rehire and in what order and why? You're possibly going to hear what we're going to talk about and go like, whoa, it's a bit extreme. But honestly, you got to work these out so that you can be a better leader, a better problem solver, and a better decision maker.
People will put 80% of their efforts into talking to and dealing with the non-performers. We should be putting 80% of our efforts into write down all your team members and rank them from 1 to 10.
If you were to fire them, who would you hire, in what order, and why? The A's are going to love that, but the B's are the ones that kind of is a death by 1,000 paper cuts. They're good one week, they're pretty average the next, they're on, they're off. So what do we do with the B's?
Well, the Builders Ladder is brought to you by The Professional Builder. Get proven systems and expert coaching to reclaim your time, make more profit, and build a systemized, profitable company that buys back your freedom.
Today's topic is actually a bit of an exercise. It's like going to the gym, working out a new muscle. It's going to hurt. You're possibly going to hear what we're going to talk about and go like, whoa, it's a bit extreme. But honestly, you got to work these muscles out so that you can be a better leader, a better problem solver, and a better decision maker. And the question is, what happens if we fire everybody tomorrow? Who would we rehire, and in what order, and why?
Absolutely.
So unpack that.
Yeah, absolutely. So you don't grow your business, you grow your team. And then you train, empower, and lead your team by giving them the resources, the training, the guardrails, the scorecards to make sure that they have the skill set, the will set, and the resources to achieve the company's goals and to achieve their own goals within the vision that you've set. So if they don't, or if they're not, then you need to course correct. And you need to have the right guardrails in place in the form of weekly meetings, and whether that's a 20 or a one-on-one. And then you also need KPIs and KPAs and one metric for each person. So you can say, hey, Owen, are you winning? And you can go, hell yeah, yes, I am. We're within 5% of our labor hours by stage.
Yep, 100%. And then if they're not winning, we want to be in a position to have a tight feedback loop. So many people think that, or many businesses think that they lack systems, but in reality, they often lack accountability. And accountability is an equation. We've spoken about this many times on the pod before, but it's accountability equals visibility times feedback times by
frequency. So you need a tight, short feedback loop on a regular basis where there's clarity between both the person who's being critiqued or feedback measured and then the person who's doing it. And you might do this in a one-on-one situation. You can also get feedback from your team. So a lot of our members will do 360 peer reviews. And so they'll line up Bob, John, Tom, Steve, and Craig, and Rachel on the site. And then they'll go, great, these are our 5 key variables: quality of workmanship, timeliness, productivity, communication, and then proactiveness, problem solving.
Yep.
And you can rate each person out of 10, what do they like to work with? And no one wants to look good in front of their mates. So that's a great one to do, not only personal reviews, but 360-degree peer reviews. And they're very simple to implement and very powerful.
Yep, 100%. So expectations, measurement, and feedback. So expectations is, do they know what is expected of them? Measurement is done, not done, on track, off track. So 5% of the labor hours. And then feedback. The tighter the feedback loop and the quicker the feedback loop, then the better. Like if we were to leave something for 6 weeks, it's going to, even if it's just 1 degree off, you're going to deviate massively. Whereas if we can give feedback daily in a daily stand-up, which is normally the easiest way to improve efficiency straight away, just introduce a daily stand-up. 4:57 every day. Why is it at that time? Well, because it's very specific and it's, not just 5 o'clock where we can go, I'm 5:01.
Exactly.
It's 4:59. I'm early. I'm late. No. It's 4:57 every day. Like you're late, you're on time, and we're in a position to ask 2 questions. What did you do today? What are you doing tomorrow?
Yep.
What did you do today? Answers that question of like you having to publicly announce that you are a piece of work and you haven't done shit today. And you're only going to stand in front of your peers 2 or 3 days in a row and say, I haven't done that, I haven't done that, I haven't done that, before you either pull finger or you jump off the bus. And then actually planning tomorrow today by saying, what will you do tomorrow, helps people to go and go, oh shit, what am I going to do tomorrow? Oh, actually, I need to swing by the, store on the way home to make sure I've got stuff ready for tomorrow.
And you can improve that question by saying, what did you produce today?
Yep.
So we are the sum of our actions, and our ideas lead to our action, our beliefs, or lack of action.
Yep.
So it's only by putting in things into massive action are we going to actually turn our ideas into reality. And if you're wondering why you're not hitting your goals, there's a great book that I read just recently by the founder of BlackRock, the private equity firm. And it's called Whatever It Takes by Stefan Schwartzman. And he said the success of any business is typically down to the management talent and density. And so the higher quality of the team, the people who've been through the valleys, the pitfalls, and achieved what you want to achieve, they've seen everything. They've solved all the problems that you're going to come across. So as you're growing, you want to grow and find people who've done what you want to achieve.
Yeah, 100%. We talk about when you're trying to become the employer of choice to attract great talent, you want to make sure that you're actually in a position to find people that have done it before. So you're almost like can build by bringing somebody on, swiping and deploying our systems and having them implement the systems, or you can go and hire somebody that's a couple of stages ahead and then they bring the systems and the processes with them at the same time.
Exactly.
And then you just plug them into the community with
100%.
us and they're able to charge even harder again. So you want to amplify talent, and you can amplify it with our community, with our systems, or you can amplify it by just having them join with the track record or the results with them already.
Exactly. And there's a couple of great litmus tests that you can do. So if Bob said he was going to leave and apply this across everyone in your company, how hard would you fight to say, no, dude, look, let's figure out a deal. What are you looking for? Career progression, pay, opportunity.
Yeah.
What are you looking for? How can we make this work? What are you not getting here? And so that's one of the key litmus tests. If anyone in your team says, I want to leave, go work for someone else, how hard would you fight?
Yep, perfect. And that kind of brings us to the main exercise. So,
I've got a second litmus test.
Perfect.
The second litmus test is to write down all your team members and rank them from 1 to 10.
Yes, exactly. 1 to 10.
Yep.
And if you were to fire them, who would you hire, in what order, and why? Exactly. Right?
And then what are the characteristics? If you had 3 people that, let's say you had 3 people that you were going to rehire.
Yeah.
What are the characteristics that they've all got in common? Is it that they come with a PSR attitude, this is the problem, the concrete truck's not turning up tomorrow. There's 3 solutions we can do. This is my recommendation, option C, and here's why.
Yeah.
Is it that they are very experienced? Is it that they have experiential knowledge in a particular area that you need in the company? If your QS said, I'm going, and even though they might not be a hell of a lot of fun at parties, does the business function better because they're there?
Yep, 100%. So you normally want, we kind of have spoken about this previously around potentially paying maybe above market rate for people that operate in parts of the business that are your weak spots or that you dislike doing, which can often be pricing.
Dan Kennedy has a killer saying on this: pay people more and hold them accountable.
Yep. So good.
And if you want the best book ever on this, Dan Kennedy's Ruthless Management of People and Profits is the Bible.
Yeah? Nice. So good. So as you're going through the list, you want to identify whether you're going to rehire them and why, and who are they and in what order. But what you're going to find is you're going to find a couple of people that you're going to hire last. And then you might not even rehire again. And then you got to ask the question, why are you keeping them?
Yeah, why are you putting up with? And typically you might find, if you've got something, you're like, oh, fuck, they're actually quite good today. They've done some good stuff. But then in the back of their mind, you might find that you have 1 or 2 people, I know I do, that take up 80% of your headspace. And you're like, fuck, raise the rent and kick them out.
Yeah.
There's truckloads of other people that are fantastic out there. And it just, everything that you want is on the other side of a tough conversation.
Yes.
And that tough conversation might be with yourself. Man, I'm getting fat. I'm rolling.
Yeah.
I need to do something about this.
Yeah, 100%. So what can we do once you've identified those bottom people? Like, nobody wants to be the best worst option,
No.
right? So usually the people at the bottom of your list realize that they're probably at the bottom of your list as well. Like, nobody's, I was going to say nobody's quite, that stupid, but some people do lack a bit of EQ.
Yep.
But ultimately, nobody wants to be bad at their job either, right? And if they're at the bottom of the list, they're probably not absolute weapons at their job, and nobody wants to be in a position where they're not good at their job.
100%.
So, you, them, and you are each other's best, worst option because it's the status quo.
Yep.
And we don't want to stay there. So what are the options when I identified that bottom 10% of the list? Obviously you should consult your lawyer. We don't want to teach any HR frameworks.
Yeah, exactly. Like, this is a minefield. Like, reach out to your HR person straight away. And I think there's a shitload of things before it gets to this point.
Yes.
But in terms of, what does your contract say? What are their terms? Are you going to restructure the role?
Yeah.
Are you going to put them on a performance improvement plan? Is it gross negligence? Is it gross misconduct? Like, what's happening? What's the process that you're going to go through to get rid of them?
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah. But let's just say that they do suck. I think then you need to have a look at, okay, is there a chance for them to redeem themselves? So have you been having regular meetings with them? How well do they take coaching on board? And can you course correct them? Because some people, like sales reps, for example, some superstar sales reps are quite often strong-willed, steamrollers, run over the top of people, great at bringing on board sales, but maybe they're not great at doing the homework. Maybe they're not great at filling in the onboarding forms for members. Maybe they don't do call reviews. Maybe they don't fill in their end-of-day reports. So you got to have performance and culture compliance,
100%.
culture fit. And so if you don't, then you know what happens when you drop a drop of Coke into a glass of water. It starts to pollute the whole glass of water. So we don't want that polluting our team where culture is everything. And I think Netflix has a great, probably one of the most well-shared slide decks in the history of the interweb, No Rules Rules. And they talk about talent density.
Yeah.
And Harvard does the same thing. So they cull 10% of their class every semester.
Yeah.
So you need to have a look at, as you're growing, what got you here, the people that help get you from 0 to 1 or from 1 to 5 or from 5 to 10 may not be the people to help take you from 10 to 30 million.
Yeah, 100%. So that's the bottom cohort. The middle cohort's arguably the most difficult, like your B grade players. Because C, they suck, and they hopefully know that they suck. Sometimes they move on themselves just by holding higher standards and making the environment one that is uncomfortable for them by, holding a high standard and moving quickly.
Yep.
The A's are going to love that, and we'll get to them shortly. But the B's are the ones that kind of is a death by 1,000 paper cuts. They're good one week, they're pretty average the next, they're on, they're off, they're up and down, side to side, round and round it goes. Where it stops, nobody knows. So what do we do with the B's?
Well, to be or not to be, that is the question. So all these things should have happened whether they're A, B's or C's in advance. Everyone needs a job description with a scorecard. Everyone needs a career plan. What are the milestones that we're expecting of you? What are the metrics? Are you on track? What training do you need? What do we need to do to course correct you? And for everything that you're upset at them about, ask yourself, what training have you put together on that to help them hold that standard?
Yeah.
And if there's nothing that you've done, then you have a massive opportunity to fix those holes in your bucket first.
Yeah.
So the first thing when you're having this meeting is to make them aware of the behavior and the outcomes that you want and where they are going off track. And you're not attacking the person. You're just simply pointing out the behavior and where that is off track. And then the next step is to put in place what's called a performance improvement plan and to meet with them on a regular basis to help bring them up and course correct them. Yep. And this is similar when you bring someone into your organization in the first place, is you want to be meeting with them every day and helping make sure that they're on track culturally, that they're doing their KPAs, their key performance actions, and that they're hitting their KPIs so that you then, as time goes on, you loosen the reins, you put in place your guardrails, and you don't need to be as involved getting them up to speed.
Yeah, love it. So it kind of goes back again to that framework of we don't lack systems, we lack accountability. Expectations, measurement, feedback. So expectations, get very clear on what success looks like, get very clear on what they need to do on a daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, annual basis.
Yep, and put that into their perfect diary so they know, hey, it's Tuesday morning, I'm doing labour hours, forecast versus actual. It's Wednesday afternoon, 1 o'clock, I'm processing all the variations captured during the week.
Correct, yep. Measurement, something that's actually tangible so that we can ask, are you winning?
Yep.
Not, is this done? Maybe, kind of. We can explain it away, but it's a yes or a no. It's binary. And then lastly, feedback, which is what we're talking about here. So giving them feedback. Then for the guys at the top of your list, the people that are rock stars, superstars, shit the fan, you need to start again, you'd rehire these 1, 2, 3, or 4 people immediately and would get moving. What do we do with them?
Well, here's the interesting anomaly or dichotomy is that the majority of the time, people will put 80% of their efforts into talking to and dealing with the non-performers. And what we should be doing is putting 80% of our efforts into the 2, 3, 4 superstars that we have on the team to give them all the resources, training, love, and challenges to help create a intense environment, not a tense environment. So this is out of the book, The Multipliers by Liz Wiseman. And she talks about creating a intense environment where there's challenging expectations. Everyone is expected to bring their A game and produce quality work. Everyone has all the resources. The owners get out of their way. They don't micromanage, but they do set challenging goals and they do hold people accountable. And then they get out of their way and they check in with them regularly to make sure that they're on track.
Yeah, so good. There's also, Roland Fraser talks a lot about turning your A+ people into 10X team.
Yep.
And the best way to turn people into a 10X team is to kind of go through many of the frameworks that we go through with our members as well. So typically start with a stop doing list and a really clear vision of what their career wants to look like. So we want to look at, for them to go from where they are to where they might want to be, what are the skills they need to acquire, what are the experiences they need to acquire, what are the things they need to get better at, what do they need to stop doing. Yep. So what do they need to free their time up from so they can double down on their strengths or pick up some new, and higher responsibilities. And once we've got that stop doing list, it's probably tasks that are now below their pay grade, repeat and recur, and are a bit admin heavy. We want to give those over to somebody that elevates them up. Now, I'm not suggesting that many, if any of your employees end up with a PA, but there should be somebody that is in the office or admin heavy or focused on supporting your management team. So maybe your company can't support a PA for every individual. Not many can, and I'm not suggesting that we end up in there. But there could be and should be an office manager that takes care of or has a fairly chunky part of their week that is supporting the leadership team, making sure that they can go faster, they can move the ball down the field, and they can be 10X team members.
Exactly. And there's lots of different options from that. So you might have your spouse or significant other may be able to provide 10, 15, 20 hours a week. You can look for students. So students, this is actually how we met over 10 years ago. So AUT, Auckland University of Technology, their final year 3, they have to do a thing called co-op or student cooperative. And in that, the final year students go out to work in 10 weeks with a business for 40 hours a week, and you don't have to pay them. Now, we paid ours $100 a week because slave labour was Might have been great back in the 1700s, but it's frowned upon now. So that's one option. And you can get them across any different, anywhere from graphic design, accounting, marketing.
They know how to do the TikToks as well.
Exactly. And they're down with the TikToks and the socials. The other things you can look at for part-time people from job boards, also local, like in the supermarket.
Yep.
The job boards there.
Local Facebook community groups. There's absolute weapons out there of, new mums that have left a corporate career or have had a very successful career in their own right, and have taken some time to raise a family and are looking to do part-time, some of the time, all of the time work or re-enter the workforce. I've seen talent out their ears looking for roles that would support many of our members.
Really?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Incredible stuff. And you can find them in local Facebook groups and little community groups, particularly in your local area. Or alternatively, you can look offshore for talent. And there's some very impressive talent offshore on platforms like onlinejobs.ph and Fiverr and Upwork.
Absolutely.
Where you can find people who, if the tasks are relatively administrative based, just in the emails, doing sales admin, pricing admin, marketing admin, then happy days.
Like in our team we've got 13 offshore virtual assistants from the Philippines in our team of 47. And a lot of our members are using them for contract administration, sales admin, office management, personal PA, and it's just an absolute game changer. If you made a list of what's everything that you dislike, you suck at, you procrastinate on, or it's below your pay grade, you're going to come up with at least probably a day a week that you could buy back starting next week. And it's going to take anywhere from 1 to 4 weeks to train that person and get them up to speed. And all you do is you take a list of all the tasks that you want to get off. So
emails first thing in the morning.
Emails.
Compiling the pricing report into a presentation, a quote, setting up the social media stuff.
Paying the guys. And you just shoot a short Loom video, a video of you doing it step by step. That helps to create the SOP for someone to follow exactly the way that you want it done. And even if they'd only did it 80% as well, then 80% done by someone else is 100% awesome.
100%. Yep. So let's land the plane. Recap. Fire everyone tomorrow. Make a list of your entire team. You've fired them all. We're going to rank them. Who would you rehire and in what order? Why would you rehire them? And then what can we do to turn our A team into 10x team members? What crucial conversations do we need to have with the bottom half of the list because progress is made on the other side of an uncomfortable convo? And how can we add more accountability to everybody by increasing measurement, expectations, and feedback?
Exactly. And if you think this is tough, the greatest reframe that I've found helping with this that we implement is to think of your business as a sports team, not a family.
Yeah.
And then it's just simply, are they a good fit? Are they good enough to be on the team or not?
Perfect. Awesome, brother.
All right.
Great session.
Happy days.
Well done.
Want to go more in depth on today's topic and buy back more time whilst earning more money? Get a free business health audit and plenty of free resources over on our website, theprofessionalbuilder.com.